And it's penalties. They couldn't be separated in 90 minutes. The extra half an hour couldn't sort it out either, despite the chance for Foden and one for Rudiger. The goals were scored in each half of normal time. Rodrigo for Real Madrid, Kevin De Bruyne for Manchester City. But Laura, it's going to take a penalty shootout to work out who plays Bayern Munich in the semi-finals.
It is indeed the first Champions League quarter-final to go to penalties for 19 years. And for Real Madrid, who've won 2 and lost 2 in Europe, the last time they went to penalties was 2016. It was the Champions League final, which they won when they beat Atletico. Look, you don't need any of these stats. You just need to look at these two teams and figure out what is going to happen in this penalty shootout. Rio, if you're a betting man, what would you say happens next?
I think I'll go with Real Madrid now. I thought they looked fatigued. When we went to extra time, I thought they were a team looked like on the last legs. City were probing, City were the team on the front foot, and I thought they'd get it done in extra time. But now they've gone to penalties. I'm probably going to side with Real Madrid here.
Jolien, how are they feeling at this moment? You mentioned fatigue earlier on. This is a team that's well drilled, well organised.
Yeah, they're feeling very tired. Every player. When we're speaking to Rio, they kicked off for the first half at 8 o'clock. At half 10, that's 2.5 hours of football.
You had plans, didn't it? You had plans.
But yeah, listen, as Rio said there, I think Real Madrid have been playing to get to this stage of the game for a lot longer than Man City. Man City have been probing and pressing, trying to get to a victory overall, but Real Madrid trying to get to penalty.
Two definite penalty takers. If it was on the pitch, Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne off the pitch now. I mean, that's huge in itself.
Did that surprise you when that happened? I know you guys reacted in the studio with me.
Yeah, definitely. You would have identified them as penalty takers, but you can say that against Real Madrid, Toni Kroos and Vinicius Junior. So, listen, there's a lot of quality out there, a lot of international talent. So, I don't think any player will not want to take a
You've been in situations like this. What does a manager say when they're huddled up? What's he trying to get to his players?
Confidence, saying he believes in the players, looking around, looking in eyes, see who really wants it. I used to look at the floor at these times, didn't want to be picked, but there will be people like that in there. But you've got to be honest. But they prepared for this. The preparation's done, the technique is there, it's all been done in the training ground, but you can't replicate these moments, this atmosphere. And then it's down to each individual to control themselves in this atmosphere. Hardest thing to do.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, you can replicate penalty taking, the technique of it all, but that walk from the halfway line to the penalty spot to the 18-yard box, that can be a lonely place. So, again, careful be saying execute what you've practiced. Don't change your mind. Go there, steady your thoughts, compose yourself, see the job through.
What about Real Madrid? They are giants in the Champions League. They are on the road. It doesn't faze them. They come to a place like the Etihad, and they're unbeaten here in such a long time.
Again, as a club, there's no bigger club in this competition. But as a group of players, this will be a new stage for them. Again, they're relatively young. Yes, there's a lot of experience in there. Some of them have won this competition before, but listen, at this stage of the competition now and at this stage of the game, you can be nervous.
With that badge comes expectancy. It comes responsibility. It comes replicating what's gone before you, history. So these Real Madrid players know that, and I just feel that extra bit of confidence from what the badge gives them, I think, puts them as favourites in my eyes.
That first toss, that was for which end?
Well.
That toss there, that is for whether you'll go first or second. So Carl Walker saying Manchester City are going to go first.
Manchester City, what end we at, Laura?
Listen.
Oh. Is it near us? Oh, this is what you want.
OK, right, let's get back to commentary team then. Let's get these penalties underway, shall we? Let's go back to Maka and also Darren Fletcher.
Thank you, Laura. You could cut the tension in here with a knife. Manchester City's first ever Champions League shootout. They've won 3 from 3 in European competition, including the Super Cup at the start of the season when they scored all 5 penalties against Sevilla. This is Real Madrid's first penalty shootout in the Champions League since the final of 2016 against Atletico Madrid. And of course we had penalties in the previous round, Arsenal needing penalties to get past Porto, and then the following night Atletico Madrid going through against Inter on penalties. So we have had the drama, and we're going to get the prospect here of Manchester City going first. If you're in a shootout, Steve, I presume you want to take the first one.
Well, I think statistics say that if you go first and you score particularly, you'll put a bit of pressure on, and that's what they think, isn't it? The Julian Alves World Cup winner is stepping up to be the first.
Worth pointing out at this stage that he's not the first choice goalkeeper by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, he's been third choice at some stage this season. Courtois injured, Kepa on the bench. So Andriy Lunin, the Ukraine international, is the goalkeeper for Real Madrid, up against the World Cup winner, a Manchester City substitute, Julian Alvarez, to get this penalty shootout underway, playing for a place in the semi-finals with Bayern Munich, waiting for the winners. And Alvarez is clinical. Perfect start for the European champions.
Yeah, lovely penalty to get the format underway. And the boos ring out for the Croatian Luka Modric. He's probably heard and seen all this before.
Well, there's nobody out there more experienced than him. 38 years of age, 525 games for Real Madrid, 125 appearances in the Champions League, and the boos cascading all around the Etihad Stadium. Ederson waits. Here comes Modric, and Ederson saves it! The first miss from Luka Modric, and it's advantage Manchester City.
Yeah, great save by Ederson. Down to his right. Wasn't in the corner, so it was really good save by the Brazilian.
So Alvarez scores, Ederson denies Modric, and now we need a ball just to add to the tension.
The ball is in the crowd, and they've been shamed into giving it back.
Yeah, but all the time, Bernardo Silva has to stand there and think about it. The Manchester City players wait. Bernardo Silva. Oh, that's a terrible penalty. Straight at the goalkeeper, who never moved. It was like chipping practice.
How strange. How strange, this penalty. Oh, he's relieved, isn't he? Jude Bellingham steps up. Can he put Real Madrid level?
Just wonder whether that delay while they got the ball back got in the mind of Bernardo Silva, but I didn't expect him to do that. Now then, Jude Bellingham, everything he's touched this season in a Real Madrid shirt has turned to gold. He's got a chance to level the shootout against Ederson. Scores clinically. Really good penalty, calm as you like, rolled it into the corner, and it's 1-1.
Was there any doubt that he would do that? Mateo Kovacic now.
I'm just going to make the point, Gareth Southgate, take note, Bellingham can go first, or certainly after Harry Kane, after taking that one in the summer, should we need it. Right then, 1-1, Kovacic, former Real Madrid player, up against his old club in the Champions League, and now faced by Lunin. He saved it! Kovacic denied, and the Real Madrid goalkeeper saves two in a row, and Real Madrid now with the chance to take the advantage in the shootout, and that's not a very good penalty either.
The two Croatians down to their left, goalkeeper's right, pounced upon first by Ederson with Modric. Lunin has repeated the save, this time to Mateo Kovacic, as Lucas Vazquez, of course, who's got previous of penalties in big competition, steps up.
Lucas Vazquez then, very experienced, over 340 games for Real Madrid. Strides up and scores into the corner. Really good penalty, hardly a flicker of emotion. And just like that, Real Madrid get their noses in front in the shootout, and Manchester City will send Phil Foden forward to try and get them back in it.
Well, coolish, I like Lucas Vazquez. Oh, have some of that right in the corner, side netting. Little bit of pressure on the Englishman. One Englishman scored in Bellingham. Can Phil Foden do exactly the same to get City back on the score sheet?
So this is the fourth penalty for Manchester City. Foden steps up and scores. Emphatically smashed into the back of the Real Madrid net, and they needed that, Manchester City.
Yes, they did. Just to breathe a sigh of relief. Left footer, whipping it in. Goalkeeper wrong way. Nacho, captain, stalwart, walks forward.
Don't know whether words were exchanged, but they passed very closely by each other. Phil Foden and Nacho wearing the captain's armband. Ancelotti pacing. So much tension inside the Etihad. Ederson waits. Here comes Nacho. Scores. And that's a really big penalty converted by Nacho for Real Madrid.
Yeah, it's a huge penalty. Huge penalty. Momentum, pressure, switches completely onto the sky blue shirts. Again, previous in Champions League finals.
Well, what about this? The goalkeeper is going to take it for Manchester City. Ederson is taking the 5th penalty, and if he doesn't score, Manchester City are out. Goalkeeper versus goalkeeper. Ederson scores brilliantly. That's an outstanding penalty from the Manchester City goalkeeper. Should we have expected anything else?
I was going to say exactly the same. When he stepped up, you automatically think goal. He's got so much class. Little stutter, just rolls into the corner. Tony Rudiger now. This is it.
Well, he's done his bit from the penalty spot, Ederson. Now he has to get back to the day job and keep Manchester City in the Champions League. If Rudiger scores, Manchester City are out. Ancelotti looks on. Rudiger against Ederson. And he scores! Rudiger scores for Real Madrid. They've won the penalty shootout. Manchester City are out of the Champions League. And Real Madrid, who always seem to find a way in this competition, have got themselves through to yet another semi-final. Ederson couldn't get to Rudiger's penalty. And Real Madrid, Steve, somehow, despite hardly seeing the ball all night, have somehow managed to take it to penalties, get themselves through and knock out Manchester City.
Well, how many times have we said they find a way? Real Madrid find a way, and they've done exactly the same tonight. As Bellingham leads the charge down to the Madridistas in the Manchester City end. They may have been behind tonight. They may have been second best to this Manchester City team, but when it comes to getting through in these competitions, you cannot count them out.
Well, the celebrations here are beginning for the Real Madrid players. City off to the perfect start in the shootout when Alvarez scored. Modric had his save by Ederson, but then Bernardo Silva and Kovacic both failed to score. Lunin saving both of them. Jude Bellingham, Lucas Vazquez and Nacho scored. Foden did for Manchester City. Ederson, the goalkeeper, slotted his away and then couldn't prevent Antonio Rudiger from scoring the winning penalty. Real Madrid are through to a 33rd semi-final in this competition, and maybe victory number 15 is only 6 weeks away. The view from the Real Madrid players, the celebration from Carlo Ancelotti, and somehow they always find a way. It's their competition, they're the kings of the competition, and they're going to play Bayern Munich, Steve, in the semi-final.